Hey, welcome to Mark's Musings, a new video series for us at RPGP where I'm just gonna solo give my thoughts on various gaming topics as they come up throughout the weeks and time ahead. And right now, the hot topic is the PS5 Pro. And you know what? Is it really that bad as the reaction that we're getting on the internet? And I've got to say, I was looking forward to this thing. I wanted to see what the announcement was going to be, what the price was going to be. I was anticipating selling my current PS5 to a friend or trade in and paying some small difference to upgrade and see some significant changes, maybe a new DualSense controller that had better features or Hall effect joysticks, you know, all those different things. I was dreaming big. And for this announcement to come out, my initial reaction there is, yeah, it's pretty bad. It's as bad as everybody is saying it is, right? So, this thing comes out on the stream, pre-recorded video, and as you can see here, the price drops at the end, and just about, with tax, $700 plus for this PS5 Pro in the US, and it's absolutely brutal, right? When you think about the current price of the PS5 or what people have gotten it for, back at launch, $400 to $500. Depending if you have the disk drive or not, more on that in a second. And for this to be a $300 jump, there's got to be something good here, right? And so to watch this 9-minute video from the Sony team and see not that many major differences um, was a tough pill to swallow for a lot of gamers and especially Sony fans, I'm sure. I'm not a Sony pony, as they would say, by any regard, but I do own every console and I do play quite a few games on PlayStation, and I enjoy them a lot. Um, but I didn't really have a necessarily a big horse in this race to the point that I'm devastated as much as I was looking forward to this console. And you can see here some of the features that came with this price tag was a better GPU, AI upscaling with their own, PSSR as they call it, better ray tracing, and the promise in the press release on the website of Game Boost applying to PS4 and PS5 games, but it says it may provide better performance. So jury's still out on that. Wi-Fi 7, variable refresh rate, 8K gaming. These things I really don't think matter all that much, especially the Wi-Fi 7 and 8K gaming. You're not getting that much improvement with Wi-Fi 7. It's just another marketing term there. And the 8K gaming, do any of you guys have an 8K TV? If you can afford this console and you're going to buy one or more of them, then I bet maybe you will buy an 8K TV. But I think I would argue that a lot of us probably don't have that. And our other features, as you can see here next to our buddy Astro, is no disk drive, no kickstand, and that's $300 to $400 more than the PS5, and this is what you're getting. So I think, much like everybody else, my initial reaction was, "This is freaking terrible." Um, what are these guys thinking? There's a lot of talk about oh, with no competition, this is what happens. Xbox is thrown in the towel. I don't really understand that. And I'll touch on that in a minute. And it's just, it was really baffling to me. But the more I sat and I thought about it and thought about the business side of this and where Sony's at and what they did with the PS4 Pro and what the sales figures were like for that and what the target market is, it made a little more sense to me. I don't think it's as bad as everybody initially reacted, including myself. Um, Look, the PS4 Pro, I think we thought it was about 1 in 5 of Sony owners had a PS5, or excuse me, a PS4 Pro versus a PS4. And I think the true numbers came out to be like maybe 13 or 15%. So kind of under that 1 in 5, but in the same ballpark. So it's not like it was just flying off the shelves and making tons and tons of money. For Sony, it was just kind of that mid-gen refresh, repurposing some parts, making some better, and getting more people into the ecosystem and selling more games, right? So I'm assuming it made a lot of business sense for them, and it probably makes business sense for them again on this one. So, I thought about the price and I said, well, what can we do if we wanted to build a PC that was equivalent to this? Because a lot of people said that's it. I'm going to PC. Why would I ever buy this if this is the trend of the console generation? I'm out. Well, as many of us know, some parts are pretty cheap now, but a lot of the graphical processing units or GPUs are pretty expensive now. It's getting more and more expensive to make chipsets, and so I just did a quick Amazon search of what is the price of the equivalents of what is going to be in this PS5 Pro, and I'm sure people would come on here and flame me and say, "Oh, I can find this for $20 less," or "You don't need this," or "I can get this slightly different model." Sure, that's why I put the tilde in here, to just show that this is a price estimate. But a 7700 XT or a 3070 is about the range that this GPU is expected to be in the PS5 Pro. The CPU is going to be on that same architecture, that type of Zen 2 that's in the PS5. Not a big improvement there, but it's estimated to be around a 5600X from the Ryzen series. And then I put in the 2 terabyte SSD, your motherboard, your power supply, some random case, 16 gigs of RAM. Can't forget the OS and discount that because it is expensive. I know a lot of people pirate it, or use some type of keygen for it, but or a discount site or a swap, whatever. But that's about the retail price, right? So again, all this quick Amazon search, you add it up around $1,000, not including a controller. You can see I grade that out with question marks. So, of course, on a computer, you can play keyboard and mouse, but some people prefer a controller. It does come with the console itself. So, that's another $70. So, you're looking, even let's say on the cheap side of this, and you guys found discounts or whatever, $900, maybe $800. I don't have a disk drive listed in here. So I think, the more I thought about this from the pricing perspective, I'm less outraged, um, and almost laughing to myself and others over the outrage of the price. I mean, the consoles, as I've said before on our podcast, shout out to RPGP and the crew, they've always usually been sold at a loss, right? It's more about getting people in, buying the games and the DLC and the microtransactions now in this era of gaming. And you can still see, I would assume this is probably being sold at a loss, depending on what's going on. I mean, they have economies of scale and stock of probably the CPU and other parts. And really, is it that bad of a deal? And furthermore, getting into kind of the target market, are you really the target market? That's something a lot of us get lost in. When we jump on here and we talk about different gaming news and games coming out, and the price of this or the performance of that, and we have to realize we're in a very small, very small sector of gamers that is truly dedicated. We care about the news, the latest specs, the price, the number of pixels. Can I really tell the difference? The average gamer that's getting on to play Madden, Call of Duty, what have you, they don't really care. They just want the console to get on. They don't want to build a PC. They don't care if it's better, if it's more efficient, if it's more customizable. They come home from a long day at work or with the kids or whatever it is, and they want to sit down on the couch, turn on a controller, maybe two controllers if they're playing with a partner or a friend or a kid, a family, and just play their games, right? And when they see that this PS5 Pro is the best way to play their games, maybe GTA 6 when it comes out in the future, this is going to be a selling point for them. Will all of them buy it? No, it is expensive. I mean, that's a tough pill to swallow to ask people to just drop $700+ depending on where you're at and what model you're getting and if you're getting the disk drive. Is it worth the upgrade from a PS5? Probably not, unless you're an enthusiast. Um, Am I going to upgrade now that I see the price? No. Do I understand the price? Yes. Is the price ridiculous? I don't think so. Um, I think it's sticker shock. A lot of people were expecting 600 or less, maybe a PS5 base model drop in price, and this would take its place or a little bit above. I mean, we're optimistic as consumers, right? We don't want to spend more money. We want to spend less and get more bang for our buck. Totally understand that. I'm on your side there, and I feel the same way. But at the same time, on the flip side of the coin, this isn't a crazy bad deal. It's not a huge improvement over what you have or what I have in a PS5, or maybe you're more comfortable going to build a computer and doing all this, which I've also done. I'm recording this on a rig right now with a 3070 in it, actually. So, you know, we just have to take a step back and think about that. And you know what? If you're so mad about this and you don't want it, don't buy it. That's what I did. I'm not buying it. I was excited at the prospect of what this could be, what it could cost, what it could do, what the new controller could be. Better battery in it, better graphics. I really even talked in our Discord that it probably needed a better CPU going in, but it wasn't going to get one because it would keep the same architecture. A lot of games right now are CPU bounds. We'll expect to see that with Grand Theft Auto 6. We've seen that in big hits like Baldur's Gate 3. It really does matter. And so being stuck on that same architecture is a bummer. And so ultimately, this was a letdown for me. Was it a total clown show? No, I don't think it's the total clown show everybody's making it out to be. But it's a letdown. I had my moment. I sat and thought about it, reflected on it. It's not as bad as I thought. I would encourage everybody to do the same. And if you don't like it, don't buy it. It's that simple, and that's ultimately what I'm going to do. And you vote with your wallet, right? If this conversion is not 1 in 5 like the previous generation with the PS4 Pro, and it's 1 in 10, maybe that sends a signal to Sony that hey, this ain't working out. But I will tell you that we thought the same thing about the PlayStation Portal, that handheld streaming device. We thought, who is this for? Even on our own videos, our own podcast on RPGP, we clowned it and said, yeah, we'll see how this does, right? Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I can see a couple use cases, but come on. This thing's been sold out. It's the number one selling accessory. I honestly couldn't believe it, right? So you can't underestimate what happens outside of your micro view of things, your own little bubble on the internet when we hop on Reddit or on Discord or on YouTube and everything's feeding us that kind of the echo chamber of what we like to hear. There's a lot of other gamers out there, guys. There's a lot of different types of gamers. That's what makes gaming great, is that it brings so much of us together that are so different, right? But we often forget about those people in that market that are not us. And ultimately, I think that's kind of where this is going. Hey, it's a pro offering, it's a mid-gen refresh. They probably had a lot of the pieces and components laying around, and they're saying, hey, if you're a Sony fan, here's the enthusiast platform. This is the best way to play our games and our partners' games, GTA 6, whatever, as they come out. And here you go. And if you don't like it, we've got the PS5 Pro. They've now got what, a 400, a 500, a 700, and basically like an 750 ish offering. They have lots of different offerings across the board. From a business side, they're thinking, all right, it's pretty good. You don't like it up there, you can buy one down here. If you don't like this and you want the best, you can buy that. I don't think they're too hurt over people saying, "Oh, that's it" on the internet. I'm just gonna go PC now. They're not too hurt, and they're gonna put their games on PC as we've seen, and they're gonna get your sale anyway. So I would be curious to know how many people were raising their fist at this console and kind of yelling at the cloud at Sony, and then they're gonna turn around and buy Ghost of Tsushima or whatever game on the PC platform when it hits Steam. I'd bet the number is pretty high, actually. And so on the topic of competition, I know I'm going to catch a lot of flack from this from one of my co-hosts, Evan, on the podcast. It's just, I don't think it's true. I don't think it's even a factor in this. I don't think, first off, I don't think Xbox is completely thrown in the towel. That's a whole nother topic with their games going to different platforms. I'm not a believer in that argument, and I will argue against it all day until I see evidence otherwise. But them not having some mid-gen refresh offering right now or even in the near future does not cause this price to happen. Them going multi-plat does not cause this pricing to happen. Sony's not sitting in their HQ trying to price this thing out, and they had it at $500 or $600, and then they saw that Xbox is going multi-plat, and all of a sudden they're like, you know what, go deep, go deep. Okay, 650, deeper, go deeper. These guys went multi-plat. They're throwing in the towel. 700, no, not enough, not enough. We got to dunk on them. Ditch the plastic stand. No plastic stand. You sure? Yeah. Oh, also, no disk drive. That'll show them. There's no competition out here. We're going all the way. It's like, come on, dude. I can't believe that for a second. Um, this is a pro offering, as you can see on the screen, with components that are less than what you could buy off the shelf and build a PC still. They have their other offerings. They're not going to price it down at $500. I mean, this price in 2024 is what makes sense, unfortunately, from a business side. And Xbox, again, has not poofed and disappeared. They still have Series S and Series X consoles on the store shelves. You can go buy them. They didn't throw in the towel and pull all their hardware. They haven't said that they're not making future hardware. They've just gone multi-plat. And I don't think competition is a factor at all in this price. Now, on the future of consoles and what does this mean and for the pricing? Yes, I think they're going to get more expensive. When you look forward maybe 3, 4 years, 5 years to the PS6, one, we don't know what the landscape of the semiconductor market's going to be, the global economy, um, and then this pricing. You're going to see that these consoles are probably going to get 600 plus unless these console manufacturers have some way to extract money from you, the consumer, in some other way, right? So if they can continue to argue that they can sell the loss, but make up that money over here on X, Y, and Z, whether it's microtransactions, subscriptions, something new we haven't thought of yet, then you're going to see the cost of this come up. They can't continue to sell at a loss in the red, forever. Um, so I would expect that, yes, this is going to be the trend with the price. It is going to continue to go up. On the thoughts of the disk drive, I mean, we've seen this coming, guys. We've seen it from Microsoft. We've seen it from, I'm going to argue Nintendo. Yes, they have their physical sales, but they've got the eShop. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with the Switch 2 and how they make that more robust. Every single platform is going digital. It's cheaper for them. It reduces the resale market. You don't get as many sales sometimes, depending on the console platform. The price, they can kind of control that pricing a little more, I think, in my opinion. And you're kind of locked in, right? And we've seen that with these consoles that the disk drive has been optional. You can buy a disk drive one or a digital one. Now you see again with the PS5 Pro, disk drive is optional. Xbox has also just released a 2 terabyte console that's adorably all digital. So this trend is happening. They're gonna go that way. That way they can control more of that money and keep it coming in, right? And I do think that's a little unfortunate. Even though I buy a lot of games digital just because it's easier, I understand and I respect the people that want physical copies, and I do have physical copies of games. I bought physical copy of Jedi Survivor, and I'm gonna buy one of Zelda that's coming out at the end of this month. So I understand that, and it is a shame, I think, that the industry is going this way, but I do expect that to continue. But I don't think it's the fault of the PS5 Pro, right? It's the way the entire industry is moving. And some you guys can, I know Evan will argue late stage capitalism, and I would probably agree with him, but it's that ever never ending chase for money to please the corporation, right, and the shareholders and what have you. So you've got to find a way in this odd economy, global economy, and these expensive times to offer a product that is of value to the consumer, but also makes money for you and keeps making money, right? And unfortunately, I think cutting the disk drive and that expense and bringing you and locking you into digital is advantageous for the businesses as much as we, the consumers, hate it most of the time, right? So that's definitely going to keep going that way. But all in all, look, I hated this. I hate it way less now. Are they going to continue to get dunked on for this? I think so. Us gamers can be pretty pretty petty. We can hit hard with the knee jerk reactions, and we can hold a lot of grudges. Right? I've been someone that's done that. I know a lot of people online to do that. We can see it on Reddit and other gaming sites and news articles. But this thing I think is going to do just fine. I'm betting 1-6, maybe 1-5 again, just like the PS4 Pro, and we'll continue on from there. The next thing to see is, what does Nintendo fire back with? And now that Sony has gone with this, what does Xbox do? I anticipate them to skip the mid-gen refresh and start the next gen early, get like 2 years ahead of the PS6. That's just my personal guess, but we'll see more as time comes. And the next big things we've got is Tokyo Game Show. So we'll see what these companies bring out there. Let me know what you guys thought about this. Do you agree with me? Disagree? I expect a lot of you to disagree with me, and that's okay. I would love to hear what you think. Pop it down in the comments. Let us know. If you like the videos that we do or the podcast, give us a subscribe, and always check out our Discord link in the description below. And we'll see you later.